How to install a kitchen sink. There are many different methods for installing a sink. You can use a template or measure the size of your existing sink before installing it. A 2-inch tape measure should do the trick. Once you've taken the necessary measurements, you can flip the sink over and line up the outlined line with the counter edge. Next, line up the edge of the sink with the mark. Repeat for each side. Before installing the new sink, you must unplug the water supply from the shutoff valves under the sink. Then, remove the clamps that hold the sink to the wall. If the sink is attached to a wall, you may need to use a block of wood to pry the clamps off. Be sure to disconnect the sink's power from the circuit breaker before starting. Make sure that the new sink is secured from below. A how to install a kitchen sink guide will also include important terminology. Make sure to know the terms for supply lines and traps. You may also need to replace broken parts. Also, make sure that you have enough space behind the sink to fit other plumbing accessories. If you don't know how to connect all of the plumbing components, you can consult a plumbing illustration to make sure everything is properly connected. Hopefully, this information will save you some time in the long run. Once you have the sink you've chosen, you need to install the drain. Depending on the sink you choose, you may need to change the length of the branch drain pipe fitting. Adding a garbage disposal to the sink may complicate the installation. If you're looking to install a new sink, consider hiring an experienced professional. If you're looking for a new sink for your kitchen, you can search Home Advisor to find local professionals. Before starting, make sure to shut off the water supply at the primary source. Next, install the trap arm. If it's too long, you'll need to adjust the trap arm. The trap arm will need to be fitted in the tailpiece of the sink. If you are installing a new sink, you'll also need to make sure the drain trap bend fits correctly. Be sure to mark the parts so that you know where everything is. Before starting the installation, prepare the countertop. Place the sink in the opening carefully. If you're working alone, it's best to have someone else help you if the sink is too heavy to lift. Alternatively, you can use a scrap of wood to protect your hands. Once the sink is in place, you can tighten the mounting clips. Make sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions regarding the spacing. This step will ensure the installation goes smoothly and safely. After setting the countertop and installing the sink, the next step is to seal the faucets and sinks. Plumber's putty keeps connections watertight and prevents bacteria from growing. It can be worked with more easily if it's slightly warm. Once melted, roll the putty into a rope shape and apply it around the bases of the faucets and sprayers. Place the wood clamp under the sink rim and ½ an inch away from the opening. Finally, add the caulk to the faucet rim. Choose the right material. Double bowl or single bowl sinks are two of the most common types of kitchen sinks. If you want a retro look, you can install a double bowl sink to give your kitchen a more retro look. Single bowl sinks are less expensive than their counterparts and tend to be easier to clean. However, if you have a small kitchen, you might want to consider a single bowl sink. Before deciding on the type of sink for your kitchen, be sure to consider its depth. Sinks typically range between 8 and 10 inches in depth. Deeper ones are better for soaking dishes, but they may be harder for those with smaller stature. In order to ensure that the sink's depth is comfortable for everyone, you should consider the height of your countertops. A higher height will help prevent water from spilling onto the countertop. A sit-on sink will be more convenient if your countertops are made from a water-resistant material. Once you've chosen your sink, you'll need to buy the necessary supplies. The cost of the kitchen sink installation includes the sink and the faucet. You can save $100 by purchasing a pre-packaged sink and faucet combination. Prices for different types of sinks vary, and materials may vary. 1/2-inch PVC P-trap will cost between $8 and $12, while Schedule 40P pipe will cost around $4. A complete installation may take up to 4 hours.